Hundreds of thousands of young people could lose their housing benefit as part of a new welfare crackdown. David Cameron is expected to suggest scrapping the benefit for anyone under the age of 25 in a speech tomorrow. The move could cut £2 billion from the welfare bill, although any changes wouldn't become Conservative policy until after the next general election. This report from our political correspondent, Vicky Young.
Big changes to welfare are already underway, but David Cameron believes more needs to be done. He wants a wider debate about a benefit system which he says promotes a something-for-nothing culture and sends out damaging signals about work, housing and families.
We always want a benefit system that will protect the most vulnerable, but the problem with the current system is that the incentives are wrong. It's too often, it's easier to claim benefit than it is to go out there and work, and it can't be right that young people go straight from school or college into the world of benefit.
Housing is one area Mr Cameron will focus on. He'll ask whether it's fair that some young people who work are forced to live with their parents because they can't afford to leave home, while thousands of others can move out because the state pays their housing benefit or gives them a council home. The annual bill for housing benefit has been on the rise, reaching £21 billion last year. 380,000 young people under the age of 25 claim it. Mr Cameron says scrapping it for this age group would save £1.8 billion a year.
Let's take a step back. The government should be focusing much harder on the core of this problem, which is youth unemployment, over 1 million people. If we had a serious back-to-work plan for those young people, we wouldn't see the benefits bill spiralling in the way it's spiralling right now.
In his speech tomorrow, Mr Cameron will set out ideas on welfare, which the Conservatives say they're unlikely to do before the election because of opposition from their coalition partners. The Liberal Democrats say they've already helped introduce changes which will totally transform the system.
I think the right thing to do is to let those reforms bed in before we take further decisions. In respect of young people, I think the biggest priority right now has to be how do we get those young people who are without work at the moment into training, into education, into work, so that we don't repeat the mistakes that were made in the 1980s and have young people blighted by long periods of unemployment.
The Conservatives say Mr Cameron is prepared to raise difficult and provocative questions about the future of the welfare state, and that he's laying out ideas for after the next general election. But his message on benefits will be welcomed by his backbenchers, many of whom have expressed their frustration that Mr Cameron's not done enough to promote traditional Conservative values. Vicky Young, BBC News, Westminster.